Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It is just such an honor for you to take the time to listen to me, and I hope that this video serves you in all the ways that you need it. So let's jump right into it. Today we are going to be talking about self-confidence. So recently I held a workshop it's called Journaling Through Meditation, and the topic was self-confidence. Now, this was such a beautiful workshop. We had about 25 people show up, and so many beautiful souls were in there. They shared, their experiences and their insights on what they wrote, given the prompts that I gave them, and it was just such a beautiful night. And yeah, so I wanted to take those prompts and sort of turn it into a little bit of love for you, from my heart to yours, around self-confidence, hoping that, this wisdom and this knowledge that I have to share with you is going to serve your self-confidence in some way. It's going to inspire you to really just stop and go inside for a second. Inside your heart, inside your soul. You deserve to feel confident. And you also deserve to feel every other feeling that happens through the process of confidence. And confidence is not a destination. It is something to be maintained. It is something to be built on. And it means something different to everyone. Right now, we live in a world where social media is telling us how to feel confident, telling us how to look. If we have this body, then we're going to be confident. If we have this partner, we're going to be confident. If we have this education, we're going to be confident. When confidence is already within your soul. Think about when you were a baby, when you were young. We have the most confidence in those times. We're risk takers. We push our limits. We say what we want to say with no filter, right? And then all these experiences happen to us as we get older. And we start to suppress who we are. We start to silence our voice. And we start to be who we think people are going to accept, instead of our authentic true self, right? And there's no judgment in that, because this has happened to me as well too. And it's going to take a lifetime of unlearning these things. And that's okay. It's really okay. So I have some questions for you. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and I just want you to write it down, and I can also put it in the notes as well. So I want you to think about these two questions. There's going to be more coming. But what have you been programmed to believe is self-confidence? So what have you been programmed to believe is self-confidence? And based on your unique and intersectional experiences in life, what does confidence look like and feel like for you? And I want you to look at how those two, so the two questions that you're going to answer, the answers that you come up with, how they're similar and how they differentiate. And the way that you look at that, you're going to see what's been programmed into you and what are your actual core beliefs in your soul. Okay. So, when you walk into a room, and I know that this is like such a cliche thing that's always said, and it's an example, but it's a really good example because, and so let me tell you the example first. I'm always getting ahead of what I want to say. Okay. So when you walk into a room, what does self-confidence look like for you? What does that feel like for you? And the reason I ask that is because I want you to think about the underlying energies of self-confidence. Okay, so maybe that is, I am worthy. I don't need to compare myself when I walk into a room. For me, I'm just going to share a little bit of my experience. When I walk into a room, I consciously try and make eye contact with people and smile. God has gifted me with this beautiful smile. It's been gifted to me to share to this world, to spread joy. And so to me, that is what self-confidence is when I walk into a room, that I'm able to smile at people. Even if I'm maybe not feeling as confident, I'm still going to do that because that's going to boost my confidence, putting that smile on. Because I was born into this world with a smile. I love smiling. I make a conscious effort to smile at people every day because I want connection. And I also just want to spread joy. And so to me, and let's just bring, the feminine into this. As women, we are programmed to be against each other. And it just does not need to be like that. It doesn't. So I am not afraid to smile at another beautiful woman. I'm not afraid to tell another woman that she's beautiful. Because there is abundance for all of us. And in fact, even if I feel an ounce of insecurity, I really step into that. I actually make it a point to talk to this person more. You know why? Because the insecurity that I'm feeling is something that I want to take and alchemize. So for example, if I see someone with a beautiful body, and maybe that's a goal that I have for myself. Maybe it is a goal. I'm working on sculpting my body and lifting heavier weights and feeling more strong and confident within myself. And it's already working. I'm already doing this. I'm in the process of it. But I love to appreciate women who already have this physique. And I'm using something external right now just because I think a lot of people can relate, but this can be translated into internal things as well. And so how you can turn those insecurities and maybe that jealousy, okay, because we all have jealousy. No human being does not have jealousy. It's what you do with the jealousy and how you move through it, right? And essentially, jealousy is something that we see that somebody else has something that we want. So why not learn from that person instead of hating them or instead of sending them heavy and negative energy? What if we smiled at them and said, hey, you have a beautiful body? And asking questions. How long did it take you to do this? What did you change in your life to do this? Can you give me some tips on how you did this? And even telling them, I feel inspired by you. That is self-confidence. Okay. So those are some reflection questions to maybe write about, think about. There's going to be some more questions as well. And, this one question, do you think people who are confident experience insecurities? There is a right answer to this. And the answer is, of course, if you're a human being, you have insecurities. Like, that's just unavoidable. We all have it. But again, it's about how we move through those insecurities. Are you going to stay in those insecurities and be a victim to them? Or are you going to make a conscious effort to transform those insecurities into a growth opportunity? And a person who may be feeling stuck, because I've definitely been there as well too, may think like, if I feel insecure about this, like how am I gonna fucking change this shit? And so what I like to ask my clients and myself is, what are the areas in your life that you do feel confident in? And I'm not saying to just focus on those areas and ignore those insecurities. What I'm saying is, if you have confidence in other areas of your life, and we all do, there's something we're all good at. There's something we can all do very well, even if it's something minor. That doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, because everything is a transferable skill. I always say this, like, confidence is a skill that is meant to be built on. It is something that needs to be maintained. It's something that needs nourishment and love as well. It takes work. It does. And so why not use the resources that you have and transfer it into those areas of insecurity? I like to use the analogy of resume building. So let's be real. We've all lied on our resume before to get the job, to make ourselves look desirable, right? And so I'm not asking you to lie to yourself, but for the resume analogy is like, there's jobs that you apply for that you've never done before, thinking you could never do it, but you have skills in other areas that are transferable. Customer service skills are transferable into other jobs. Right? Like, your resume is pretty much an inventory of your skills, what you've already accomplished. And when you apply for a new job and they're asking for certain experiences, you better believe that you are going to take your past experiences and somehow incorporate it into what they're looking for. So can you think of this higher sense of self-confidence as a new job that you're applying for? So if self-confidence was looking for you, what would they be asking for? How would you show up? How would you show up for self-confidence? What would you look like? What thoughts would you think? What beliefs would you have about yourself? And knowing that you don't have to have all the answers either. That you can show up and receive training. use the skills that you already know. Ask questions so that you're learning and growing. Self-confidence is not a destination. It is something that is a journey. It's something that's going to change as your life changes, because you're constantly changing every moment of the day based on your experiences. And learning to redefine your self-confidence as those experiences change. Just as if you were evolving in a job and they're implementing new policies, new procedures, and you adapt to them, because these policies and procedures are going to make the business, your position, run better. And right now, your position is self-confidence. So, how are you going to adapt, adjust, and change, but also honor and love what you are already? And you can do those at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. In fact, I think it's vital to use both. Because if you can honor where you're at, who you are right now, use what you have, you are loving and accepting yourself, knowing your worth. But then also the part of you that asks questions, that is willing to grow and expand, is also vital to building on your self-confidence. Because as I said, it's constantly shifting, it's constantly evolving and growing. And you get to decide the direction that it wants to go in. This is all your choice. What happened to you was not your fault. But right now, you can make the conscious effort to change these things. And again, it's going to take consistency and effort, repetition. That's just what it is. And it's hard, I know, trust me. I'm also in the process of evolving my self-confidence. So I say this from a place of understanding and love and compassion. But I also say this from a standpoint of you deserve better for yourself. You deserve to think better thoughts about yourself. You deserve better from other people. Give that to yourself right now. And so to do that, and as I said, it does require a lot of work, but we can't really talk about self-confidence without talking about insecurities. And so it's really important for you to understand where your insecurities come from, because a lot of our insecurities actually don't belong to us. It's been things that people have told us. And I'll give you an example. So something that, and I'm just being transparent, really transparent, because I think it's important. I oftentimes struggle with my body image. And the thing is I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I have a beautiful body. And the most important thing is I'm fucking healthy. I am very healthy. So where is this coming from? I've always asked myself, why do I feel this way? And I want to ask you the same thing, what's happening for you? And what are your insecurities around your self-confidence, and where does it come from? So, do you struggle with body image? Do you struggle with, worthiness? There's so many layers to self-confidence. So I want you to sort of identify those layers on your own. There's no specific, strategy for this, or there's no specific template. Like, it's based on your own experiences. So I'll use an example of my own. So for example, I'll use the body image one. I know exactly where that came from. When I was in elementary school, I was dating someone, and I want to preface this that he loved me very much, and I understand that his behaviors and a lot of the things that he said to me that impacted me were based on his programming, not justifying what he said. But we were at a family water park and with his whole family. And I was in a 2-piece bathing suit, and he made a very rude comment about my body, about my stomach. He had said something along the lines of, "Your tummy is sticking out and you look fat." And I was just like taken back and shocked. I was like, okay, how can someone who loves me so much say something like that about my body and make me feel so worthless and low? So I was probably about, I was under the age of 13, I believe. Dating from a young age, but yeah, it impacted my life after that. I often emotionally ate, and like that sometimes shows up for me in my life still. I was very conscious about my body weight and so insecure, and I wasn't overweight. It wasn't anything like that. But based on his programming and based on, a lot of what he saw, and again, this is not just for him, it's for all of us, we're the social media and just what we see online, it gives us this idea of perfectionism of our bodies, of ourselves. And it's just so important that you understand that you're human, and wherever you're at right now, that you are worthy, regardless of what you look like, regardless of your trauma, like you're still worthy. So I really just need to say that. But that comment impacted my entire life and caused me to struggle with body image issues, right? But what I will say is that what I've taken from this is that comment now, it doesn't impact me as much, that specific comment, because I have learned to take really good care of my body. And there's times where I fall off like a human being. But now it's almost like that comment, it's just so irrelevant to me now. Now, I'm not saying if somebody called me fat or made a different comment to me that I wouldn't be impacted by it. This specific comment in particular. So that was one of the programmings from when I was younger that caused me to have a lack of self-confidence. That was, I was associating my worth with my body. And another experience that I had growing up was being called too sensitive. And this still happens till this day. And I would always try to suppress my sensitivity because then I would be accepted, then I would be worthy. And in all honesty, it never worked. I was bad at suppressing my feelings. I just couldn't. I was always crying, even when I tried not to. But there were a lot of emotions that I suppressed, and it caused severe impact on my confidence. Severe impact on my confidence, because I felt like I could not exist in this world feeling the way that I do. So again, like, I've done so much work on myself. I have done an immense amount of shadow work and still am. But it's helped me, like, again, this shadow work has just really helped me to improve my confidence in how I feel about myself. And I want to ask you, like, what were these experiences for you? Could you go back to childhood and pinpoint these things? Especially those initial experiences and then the ones after, so that you can make sense of it. Because a lot of the times we feel like, I don't know why I feel so unworthy, when really, like, there's valid reasons as to why you feel that way. Something has happened to you, something was said to you, right? So I would really, I have some more questions for you to reflect on. And again, like, I always have really good questions to ask. And I think that, as being a healer, and I encourage anybody who is seeing a life coach, a therapist, a healer, to make sure that they're asking you really good questions. Like, that's a really good life coach, and that's a really good therapist, because this journey is your own. They're there to support you, not to tell you how to feel or what to do, but provide guidance. And for me, it's really important for me with my clients to help them connect to their intuition and their experiences and what's real for them. Right? So I have some more questions for you. So how have these early experiences of not feeling confident enough, how do they show up in your life after that? In your adult life? Can you also think of how it's impacted the relationship with yourself? Can you draw relation to the areas in your life that you feel less confident in, and how the earlier experiences correlate with your adult experiences? And then I want you to think about, and you can do this simultaneously, but I really want you to do the groundwork first before you decide how you want to show up. Because the next question I have for you is, how do you want to show up confidently in your life? Like, can you give examples, concrete examples? Like, don't just say, I want to walk into the room and, like, be the most beautiful person, or, I just want to show up confidently. That's it. Like, there has to be details underneath that, and understanding the energy underneath how you want to show up. So give yourself examples. So for example, maybe you lack confidence at work. Maybe you don't have a voice in staff meetings, or I don't know, whatever it is that applies to you. And, so maybe how you're showing up is, I want to be able to use my voice at work, or I want to be able to approach someone that I think is attractive. Having concrete examples, and the reason I tell you that is because I want you to get so clear on these areas so that you can work on them. And so, for example, I want to approach someone that I think is attractive. Like, that's a very detailed and concrete part around worthiness, right? Around self-confidence. And so when you have that concreteness, there's a follow-up action that you can apply to that, of how you want to show up. So yeah, okay, this is how I want to show up. What's the follow-up action now? So you can want all these things, but you can't wish them into your existence. You got to start showing up. You got to start doing the actionable items. So maybe the next time you go out with your girls or with your boys or with your crew and you see someone who's attractive and you put on your confidence, whatever that looks like to you, and you go up to that person that you think is attractive and you just start a conversation with them. Or maybe you just smile at them and you say hi. Okay. So get clear. Clear. All right, so confidence does not mean that we have no fear. Because in reality, we all do. The most successful people in life have fear. How we move through the fear is what is crucial. So moving through the fear with love and trust for yourself, knowing that you're going to have your back no matter what the outcome. And underneath that lack of confidence in areas of your life that, so those underlying beliefs may be fear, rejection, judgment, loss, abandonment, etc. Confidence is moving forward anyway. It's just doing the thing anyway. Taking the risk. Taking a risk on yourself. A risk on others. Oh my gosh, there's so many times I've experienced this with ex-boyfriends and just other people in life where they're hurt once and it's like, I'm never doing that again. Oh my gosh, okay. Like that. You cannot live life like that. I mean, you can, but it's just going to be fucking miserable for you because you're suppressing your desires. And I'm not saying you have to like move through life nonchalantly. Like, I'm saying that you can open your heart up and learn how to set boundaries and learn how to love yourself and learn that you are worthy and feel that and embody that and take the risk anyway and open your heart to love anyway. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all want love. Even the avoidance, even the disorganized attachment style, like there's just, all of us want love. Even the most wounded people. Right? And so opening your heart and moving through these experiences, whether it be love, whether it be taking on a new job, whether it be starting your own business, whether it be, I don't know, like it really just depends on your specific experiences. These are just examples. And moving through the discomfort, that is where we grow. We grow in discomfort. Neurologically, in discomfort, new neural pathways are formed, and we're almost forced to think outside of the box when we're in that space of discomfort. We're urged to get more creative and navigate through circumstances that we wouldn't normally be in if we weren't in that place of discomfort. Now, I'm not saying go do something dangerous. That's not what I'm promoting. I'm saying push yourself enough out of the comfort zone to grow. You can do these in safe ways. You can move through discomfort safely. Oh, I love that. You can move through discomfort safely. Let that sink in. That was good. Okay. So, my big question for you is, how can you gift yourself opportunities of discomfort frequently? And when I say that is, I sort of gave this example already of, approaching someone that you think is attractive, smiling at them. It's uncomfortable. It's, there's fear of rejection. There's fear of not being loved. But giving yourself that opportunity of discomfort, and then you are providing that opportunity that no matter the result, that you're going to love yourself anyway. So can you do something uncomfortable every single day in the mindset that you are growing your skills, your heart, your soul, and your love for yourself? Like, you're so worthy of all of this. And how can you be of service to yourself in these times? You know, a huge part of confidence is servicing yourself first, which is also known as putting yourself first. And then we can talk about boundaries in this sense. Having the bravery to use your voice on how you feel and honoring what's happening for you. Honoring your needs, honoring your desires, staying true to them. That is self-confidence. That is servicing yourself. You know, vulnerability is often seen as a weakness. That someone is weak and I just completely disagree with it. Like, to me, being vulnerable, that shows bravery and confidence to me. Saying how you feel, having no filter on how you're feeling, being transparent, being honest, especially about the hard things, especially about your insecurities. That takes a deeply brave person to do. Because you're putting yourself on the line to possibly be judged or rejected. But you're showing up authentically. You're choosing that. Being authentic is being vulnerable. Confidence is a commitment to yourself, a commitment to stay true, to be authentic, unapologetically. It's loving yourself in moments you feel low, giving yourself compassion and forgiveness. And it's also self-discipline. Confidence is not just one thing, it's multi-layered, multi-dimensional. And instead of using the language of I am not confident, why don't we shift it into today I need to love on myself more. Changing our language around our confidence, around ourselves and how we talk to ourselves. You know, maybe today you're saying, I'm just gonna honor this fucking darkness that's showing up today. Just gonna let it surface. Or maybe today I am exploring rest. Because the days that we do not feel confident, that just may mean that we need rest from an overactive mind that's telling us untrue stories about ourselves and what we're capable of. So, I hope that this has served you, that these questions have made you go inside, reflect. It's made you love yourself a little bit deeper despite your traumas, despite your experiences. And help you to just lean into that fear a little bit more. Lean into that discomfort. My love, you are so deserving. You're so worthy of embodying confidence. It's already within you. It's underneath all those layers. It's just a matter of peeling those layers back and reconnecting with it. And so, as an empowerment coach, I help people, I teach people how to embody self-confidence, self-love, self-worth, and help people to improve their relationship with themselves and with others. And I offer these one-on-one offerings that are so beautiful. They're tailored to each individual. It's a safe space, one where you can grow in, one where you can build a foundation, where you're loved and accepted for all of who you are. And so, head on over to my website to purchase a life transformational coaching therapy package, or you can just do session by session, but you do get a better value for your dollar if you purchase a package. So head on to my website, and I'm going to leave it in the notes. It's www.samanthasafehavensanctuary.com. Also, you can follow me on Insta at safehavensanctuary_. I am sending you so much love, so much of everything that you desire, that you're so worthy. This healing journey is not linear. It's messy, it's chaotic, but it's fucking worth it. Okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You got this. Bye.